Mario 64 was an incredible launch into 3D platforming for the game franchise, becoming one of the most popular platforming games of all time. Sonic's launch into 3D was a bit more rough though.
Something bugging you?
Even with the game being full to the brim with scenes like that, Sonic Adventure still became one of the most beloved Sonic titles to date. From the nauseating camera, to the slippery movement, or even just the clipping through objects. Sonic fans can look past it all to see something incredible. But just what do they see in this game? A great story? Interesting characters? Or is it all just nostalgia? Today, we're going to be answering the question, is Sonic Adventure even good? So grab your Chaos Emeralds and Big the Cat bucket hat as we start off with Sonic Adventure technically has 6 stories, but they all connect to make up the same main story. So instead of covering each of the little guys, we're going to talk about the main big guy. Literally. That massive creature I just showed you is Chaos, a mutated Chao that lived within the Master Emerald. Eggman learned of its existence from the old Echidna... I wrote enchilada down. Eggman learned of its existence from the old Echidna runes depicting chaos causing mass destruction. Eggman then shattered the Master Emerald, freeing not only Chaos, but also Tikal, an Echidna spirit that helps out Sonic and the crew along their journey. Knuckles immediately gets to finding the pieces of the Emerald that are somehow scattered across the entire map. I don't know how that happened, but okay, we go along with it. Chaos escapes to Station Square, where Sonic finds him and has a little intro boss fight. Chaos then escapes and Sonic goes back to relaxing on the beach until Tails comes crashing down. They meet up and head over to Tails' workshop in the Mystic Ruins, where they encounter Eggman trying to collect the Chaos Emeralds to feed Chaos for more power. Get used to the word Chaos because Sonic Team just loves it and can't really come up with anything else creative. Eggman steals the emerald from Tails and scurries away. Sonic and Tails then begin their hunt for the remaining emeralds to keep away from Eggman, taking you places that just don't make sense based on the scenery around us. How is there a snowy mountain over here and then a desert, like, I don't know, 100 yards away? Anyway, long story short, Sonic and Tails collect a bunch of emeralds, and Eggman just keeps finding ways to steal them from them, and then feed them to Chaos for another pathetic boss fight. After another defeat, Eggman takes Chaos away and reveals his grand ship, the Egg Carrier. Tails and Sonic chase after him and end up getting shot down and dying. Not really. Sonic wakes up in Station Square and Tails in the Mystic Ruins. Sonic runs into Amy while he's trying to feed his gambling addiction, and then he has to go and save her from one of Eggman's robots, Zero. He fails, but he doesn't seem to care in the slightest, so neither do we. He regroups with Tails, who crafted a new and improved tornado, and they take off to the Egg Carrier once again, shooting it down. Since Tails forgot the landing gear, they have to crash land on the carrier and start the hunt for Eggman, finding him being protected by E-102 Gamma and Chaos for another boring boss fight. Sonic chases after Eggman and finds himself lost in the jungle with the spirit of Tikal guiding him into a temple that stores a rock that will quite literally teleport on top of you if you run away too fast from it. From Software should really start taking notes from the Sonic team. In the center of the temple, we find the runes depicting chaos that Eggman found at the beginning of the game, taking us into a flashback of what sort of chaos caused last time he was unleashed. Say that 10 times fast. Back to the present, Sonic sees Eggman fly past going to his city that he somehow built right behind the temple in the middle of the jungle. It's a massive skyscraper, like, I don't know how I did that. We follow and have a final boss fight with Eggman. It took me so long for some reason. It started pissing me off. I kept jumping off the map. I don't know, man. I'm not good at final boss fights. With Eggman's hopes and dreams crushed, he gives up hope and launches a missile towards Station Square, and it lands, but it does not detonate. Because...
no, it was a dud.
And now it's up to Tails to have his very own boss fight with Eggman, and stop him from arming the missile again, killing everyone including himself in the process. So, I don't know why he even would want to arm the missile if he's right next to it, but... whatever. All of this is for nothing though, because Chaos already has all 7 emeralds, and it's unleashing pure hell onto Station Square, killing probably hundreds of people in the process. Sonic and his friends acquire all the drained emeralds, and through the power of positivity and friendship, they charge them up and go supersonic for maybe the coolest yet easiest boss fight in Sonic history, putting an end to Chaos's rage and Tikal's restless spirit. everyone's story is resolved. Obviously, there's a lot more to this than what I covered here, but I didn't want this whole video to be talking about this story, so you can watch other videos on that, or just watch Sonic X. Sonic X covers this whole story, and I kind of prefer it, because half this game is cutscenes anyway, so I'd rather see it in like a cool early 2000s anime style, rather than this. Because Sonic Adventure just has the player rewatch the same cutscene 5 times and do the same mission 3 times. It gets very repetitive and takes away from the overall experience, so that's probably a gameplay issue, but it affects the story for me, so I'm gonna put it here. Boohoo. It's my video. I think Chaos is one of the best and most iconic villains the franchise has ever seen, but the build-up is not that good. The pacing and explanations of events and characters are all pretty nice. I like to call guiding the player throughout the entire experience, giving us glimpses of the past to better understand what's happening. And all the separate stories per character were nice to an extent. The idea is great, it's all there. But like I said earlier, it gets really repetitive and kills the vibe for me. While we're on the topic of the characters, let's take a look at all 9 of them. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Big the Cat, Gamma, Eggman, Chaos, and Tikal. The 9 main characters of Sonic Adventure. Here they are on a tier list. Okay, let's talk about them from worst to best on the tier list. Big, the fat, stupid, annoying, dumbass cat. He's here, I guess. Him and Froggy. He just loves fishing, and his friend Froggy, who actually got swallowed by Chaos and now has a tail and an emerald inside of him. So that's really the only reason they exist. By far is the worst gameplay, and it's just kind of funny looking. There's really not much to him. He's just kind of a fun background character in future games. So, yep, he's Big the Cat, all right. Amy, the OG Sonic waifu, sucks. Amy sucks. She's very one-dimensional in this game, and all she cares about is following Sonic around and protecting the wildlife. Which is fine. I mean, someone has to care in this game, because Sonic obviously won't. So, yeah, but she brings nothing to the game at all. Remove her from the story, and I don't think anything will really change. Eggman in this game is kind of underwhelming. It's never really fleshed out why he wants to destroy Station Square so bad, so it's kind of hard to call him a good antagonist in Sonic Adventure. But he's also not a bad antagonist. He's strong, smart, and always one step ahead. He knows how to be a villain. There just isn't enough of him shown in this game. Tikal, our first actually interesting character. Tikal is a deceased echidna from when Chaos was last unleashed. She died due to her father's desire to grow in power and gain more land, causing war to break out, and unleashing Chaos, which she had to seal away by sealing herself away with it. And like I said during the story section, she acts as the player's guide, telling us where to go next and showing us fragments of the past to gather a better understanding of what happened to the tribe. She's only in C tier because, I don't know, she just is. There's nothing wrong with her. I actually really like her. She's a really nice character. Nice one-off character. But she's not B tier. Gamma's B tier though. Maybe even higher. You guys can convince me in the comments. I'll bump him up. E102 Gamma, one of Eggman's robots created to do whatever he needed, and he does just that, until he sees his counterpart, E101 Beta, being taken apart. This awakens something in Gamma and causes him to question Eggman as a leader. Amy is actually a big part of Gamma's character arc, just because of the birdie she's protecting. Because if you know Sonic, you know that all of Eggman's bots are piloted by little critters like the birdies. So when Gamma sees a family member, he acts out and turns against Eggman, destroying all the other E-Series robots, freeing his family and himself. It's a great character arc for something that was never fleshed out before. Gamma is just so awesome and is great at displaying emotion, even though he's just a machine. Just look at his little happy dance, come on. Knuckles is also in the B tier, and I feel like some people might not like that. So, before you send me hate mail, just hear me out, okay? Please just hear me out. Sonic Adventure has Knuckles lost and confused, tricked by Eggman again, and leave the main story before it's actually finished. He doesn't really do much. He's just classic Knuckles, which is why he isn't lower than B tier, but he's also not higher. He could be lower just because being tricked by Eggman for a second time is really lazy writing. That's just stupid, but I still like him, so he's just going to stay at B tier. Tails, on the other hand, shows early signs of an arc that he's still currently going through to this day. That arc is being his independence. He's always going to be that cute... He's always going to be that fun and smart sidekick to Sonic. But it's always nice to see how inspired he is by Sonic to be brave enough and fight his own battles, which he actually does in this game. So, I really don't understand how this character development is still going on in Frontiers, but oh well, Tails is still awesome. I love Tails. Someone more awesome than Tails, though, is Chaos himself. Herself? Itself? Itself. To this day, I don't think we've had a villain as badass and horrifying as Chaos, because it isn't named Chaos for nothing. Being sealed inside that Master Emerald and stemming from Chao roots, which stem from the ancients from Sonic Frontiers, Chaos's lore is just so fun and interesting. Well, a bit convoluted at times. We can all look past it, because who doesn't love the Chao? Chaos doesn't really have any real motives besides protecting the emeralds and the Chao. So, once the Echidna tribe defile both the emeralds and the Chao, Chaos goes Hulk mode and rains terror down upon them all until Tikal seals Chaos and herself away in the Master Emerald. Awesome story, great monster, beautiful work, Sega. And last but not least is obviously Sonic. I don't know how much you guys really need or want to hear about Sonic, but here's just a little bit. Sonic Adventure Sonic is the first title to really flesh out his personality, and while that can easily be argued, I don't care. That's how I see it. Showing fans how cocky and laid back Sonic really is, Sonic Adventure is just another route for him to make quick-witted jokes and run around smashing stuff. This is the Sonic mold that every new Sonic is based on to this day. This is the Sonic we all think of when we think about him. He's incredible, but something that's not so incredible might have to be the... So, this game was made in 1998, and it shows. Facial expressions like this are more common here than they are rare. I don't think a single line of dialogue actually matches the mouth, but...
What are you doing, Knuckles?
Don't mess with me now. Just hand over the emeralds you have. Quick!
No way, Knuckles.
I think I'll chalk that up to dubbing issues. Cut them a bit of slack here. Aside from the horrifically funny faces, let's look at what we see for the other 40% of the game. The running, jumping, and spinning. I only say 40% of the game because at least half of this game's 9-hour runtime is cutscenes. Somebody prove me wrong. Somebody show me some statistics. I want that to be wrong. Anyway, we're not going to go into full depth of each character besides our main guy Sonic, so I'll say some things I like or dislike for each of the characters though. Ready? Go! Tails is Tails, Tails is full sprint, Tails is flying, how Knuckles flies around, Amy's jump attack, both of them, Gamma's gun lock-on, Gamma's different forms, and Big the Cat dying. Now for the notable things I don't like. Tails' spin attack, everything else about Amy, Big the Cat, and Gamma's happy dance. It's such a dumb, silly looking dance. I actually might love it for how bad it is. And if you were waiting for me to name a certain animation, and I didn't, it's safe to assume I either just forgot about it, or I don't have strong feelings about it either way. Okay, now let's talk about our main character Sonic, and his honestly really great animations. While obviously dated, Sonic's different stages of walking start off a bit awkward, but once he gets some momentum going, he looks great. I wish he had a top speed animation like he does in some other games, but I'm okay with what we have here. Him leaning into the run and throwing his arms back just looks and feels really nice. His spin dash might be my favorite though, just at any point of Sonic spinning in the air. Being able to see every color spinning along with him, instead of him just being a pure blue ball, is such a great addition, along with the trail that follows him. And the way he leans into the charge is so perfect. I don't have much to say about any of his animations otherwise. Sonic just overall looks fantastic, and everyone else looks nice enough for the most part. I'm even Big, I guess. Big might be the least fun I've ever had actually playing a Sonic game though, so I guess it's time we talk about the... So Sonic Adventure was the first real 3D Sonic game. Sorry, Sonic 3D Blast. Since Adventure was following the 3D route other games such as Mario were taking at the time, the way the game played and felt drastically changed. Drastic enough to earn its very own title of playstyle, called the Adventure Style. The difference between Adventure and the other two styles, Classic and Boost, is the 3D element and the lack of boosting. It's pretty self-explanatory. The player only has the spin dash and homing attack to really rely on, a fun and open way to experience a Sonic stage. The only real drawback with this playstyle is the camera, because it's awful. Constantly getting stuck in a wall or floor, or just getting tossed around and spinning you in circles. It's nauseating. If you've played this game, you understand the frustration. Another issue I'd run into a few times is the homing attack missing or just not reaching the enemy and I die. I think it's honestly a skill issue, so we'll disregard that. To add some variety for each character, not only do they all play differently, but they also all get new abilities throughout the playthrough. Sonic getting the most, obviously, and Gamma matching him for some reason, I don't know. Sonic's being the Lightspeed Dash and the upgraded version that will target enemies as well. And Gamma gets the Jet Booster and a laser gun. None of anyone's upgrades change how you really play besides Knuckles, who gets to dig in the dirt for pieces of the emerald instead of just walking around. His whole gameplay loop is searching around for 3 pieces at a time and has 5 stages, so that's 15 total pieces. It's honestly a pretty fun gameplay loop. You get a little indicator at the bottom to let you know when you're close to an emerald or not, and the map designs are pretty awesome also. Tails is pretty much Sonic, except he can fly around and beat the stage 10 times faster than Sonic ever could, and has the easiest boss fight ever because of his upgrade that allows him to spin around endlessly, hitting everything around him. Amy is just a worse version of both of them because of her awful movement. Big the Cat is an awful fishing simulator with bad puzzles, and Gamma is what happens when you beg a platformer to include guns. That's not to say he's bad at all, he's just mindless spamming of the X button, shooting everything in sight. Overall though, each character feels different enough, for better or for worse, to make the gameplay engaging and not stale. If this game ever gets a remaster, which it desperately needs, and they fix all the camera issues, it could be one of the best Sonic titles ever. Not even among Sonic fans, just ever. Another issue I have, however, is the RPG style hub worlds, because they suck. Not only do things not make sense, but the game just expects you to know where to go sometimes. I don't know if this game came out with a guide back in '89, but how the hell was I supposed to find Tails' upgrade up some random staircase in a flashback? Most of my playtime spent outside cutscenes was trying to find where I'm supposed to go next. It got really annoying, especially with the same repetitive songs in my ear. I'll be the first to say that I don't really like the music in this game very much. Compared to other Sonic games, it doesn't stand out or hit the same chords for me. That's not to say it doesn't have bangers, because Crush 40 did the main theme, and that song's incredible. I mean, it's Crush 40 on a Sonic game, come on. But like I said a minute ago, the hub songs just get so annoying, and after a while, they start to drive me insane. All of the stage songs are good enough, but they just don't stand out to me. I honestly think the hub world songs just drag the rest of it down for me, and that upsets me, because I like to listen to the OST of whatever game I'm talking about while writing these scripts, and while doing so, it sounds really fun and good, until I hear this shit. And just like that, I dislike the entire OST again. It's really a shame that songs like that are thrown in with songs like this. Also, I'm pretty sure that since each character goes to the same 11 stages, they all have the same song per character. 9 hours of playtime with only 1 hour of music. It just doesn't feel as unique of an experience. Maybe that's a bit nitpicky of me, but like I said earlier, it's my video, boo-hoo. To summarize, yes, the music in this game is very, very good, but yes, I also hate this game's music. Sorry. Thank you. Sonic Adventure was Sonic's first real venture into the world of 3D platforming, and while it is very, very rough around the edges, it's still a game loved to this day and considered by fans to be one of the best Sonic titles out there. This was my second playthrough of the game, and to be frank, I absolutely hated my first playthrough. But this time, I actually really loved it until I played all of Amy and Big the Cat in one sitting. That hurt me to my core. But since I had a better understanding of the movement in camera, it was overall a much more enjoyable experience for me, and finally beating Chaos was so incredible. I hope this video was just as incredible. Enough to where you feel the need to like and subscribe. My next video will be covering Sonic Adventure 2, and then I plan to put an end to the debate of which is better. So be on the lookout for those. Thank you for watching. Comment if I missed anything, or just any improvements I can make, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.